Welcome to the One Year Book of Mormon. A non-Mormon reads through the Book of Mormon. Alma 3, Chapter Overview. In the 5th year of the Judges, so around 84 BC, there is a massive but brief civil war, 1 or 2 battles only, apparently, in Zarahemla with Alma and the church, that is, the good people, on one side, and Amlici, a would-be king, and his followers, these would be the bad people, on the other, with innumerable people killed. This chapter includes descriptions of the Lamanites and the Amlicites that accord with the description of American Indians around the time Joseph Smith lived. In verse 1, we're told that the Nephites bury their dead who are too numerous to be counted. Presumably, this is in addition to the 6,000 killed in the earlier battle, so this innumerable amount must be truly great indeed if 6,000 is easily counted, and this number is so much greater as to be innumerable. Verse 3 says, "And now as many of the Lamanites and the Amlicites which had been slain upon the bank of the river Sidon were cast into the waters of Sidon, and behold, their bones are in the depths of the sea, and they are many." This would require the river Sidon to empty into the ocean, or perhaps one of the great lakes, something big enough to qualify for the sea and to be deep enough to be called the depths of the sea. And the river would need to be close enough to the sea that the bodies would drift into the sea and decompose and sink, even though bodies typically bloat and float unless weighed down. So this would eliminate a great many places in the Americas from being considered the land of Zarahemla. Verse 4 says that the Amlicites put a red mark on their foreheads like the Lamanites. Then in verse 5, we're given a description of the Lamanites that sounds much like the American Indians and also like previous descriptions of the Lamanites. For example, in verse 6, we're told that the Lamanites had dark skin, which differentiated them from the Nephites, and which was also a mark of cursing, so that God would preserve his people and the Nephites wouldn't mix with the Lamanites and be destroyed. Verse 9 says, "And it came to pass that whosoever did mingle his seed with that of the Lamanites did bring the same curse upon his seed." This sounds very much like the preaching of Brigham Young when speaking of white people intermarrying with black people. Remember, though, that this curse from way back in 1 Nephi or possibly early in 2 Nephi magically came upon the wicked Lamanites because of their wickedness once they separated from the Nephites. But now it sounds like it's genetic, so that their offspring are dark because they're cursed no matter how good or bad they are. Verse 10 continues by saying that whoever became a Lamanite as far as his beliefs likewise had the mark, that is, this curse of dark skin. So here we have more magic changing of skin color based on beliefs, but apparently only one way. That is, one's skin can magically turn dark for bad beliefs, but we're not told that it can magically turn white for good beliefs. Finally, verses 26 and 27 again affirm that eternal punishment or eternal rewards await people based on their actions in this life, with no hope for a change after death. With verse 26 saying, "And in 1 year were thousands and tens of thousands sent to the eternal world, that they might reap their rewards according to their books, whether they were good or whether they were bad, to reap eternal happiness or eternal misery, according to the spirit which they listed to obey, whether it be a good spirit or a bad one." Note also that the afterlife, he is here called the eternal world. I don't know how well that idea would accord with the Bible. It seems to be contradictory because of the resurrection, so the post-mortal state before the resurrection will come to an end with the resurrection, but it certainly disagrees with modern Mormonism, which doesn't view eternity future as starting until the end of the millennium.